Okay, here we have the ingredients here for bread and butter pudding. I've got 30 grams of sultanas. I have 6 slices of white bread with the crust off. I have got 4 eggs. I've got 60 grams of caster sugar, 500 milliliters of milk, 100 grams of melted butter, and 3 drops of vanilla essence. I've also got my ring there for cutting my bread there, as you can see. There. Okay, so I'm going to brush my molds with my melted butter. I'm going to use my plane cutter then to cut my bread into rounds. I'm going to brush them with a little bit of butter. I'm going to prepare my egg custard by mixing together the eggs and the sugar. I'm going to warm my milk and infuse it there with the vanilla. I'm going to place a little slice of bread, and then I'm going to place in some sultanas and layer it up with sultanas bread to the top. And then I'm going to pour in my custard. I'm going to let it soak in and top it up if required. Let it stand for 5 minutes to let the egg mix soak into the bread. I'm going to dust it with some caster sugar, and then I'm going to cook it in a bain-marie or in a bath of water slowly at about 160 degrees Celsius or 325 Fahrenheit for about 45 to 60 minutes depending, or until it's set. Then to finish then I'm going to sprinkle with some caster sugar on top, glaze under the salamander or with a blowtorch, and I'm going to allow it to cool and demold it. And then what I will have then is I will have a classic bread and butter pudding. Obviously it is important there, a note, to strain your egg custard mix before you fill your ramekins and then leave to stand. Bread and butter pudding. Okay, so here I have the first stage for making my bread and butter pudding. I'm whisking together my eggs and my sugar to incorporate, and then I'm going to add my warm milk, which has been infused with my vanilla. And then I'm going to strain that mix and leave it to one side. And that's the first stage of bread and butter pudding. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I've whisked in my warm milk into my eggs and sugar, and now I'm straining to mix. And then I'll reserve that until required. Okay, what I'm doing now is the next stage here is I'm cutting my rounds, and then I am buttering my rounds. And then I'm going to use them to build up the layers in my bread and butter pudding. Okay, so I have everything ready now, prepared for me to make up my bread and butter pudding. So I put in a round of bread, as you can see here. I'm going to sprinkle some sultanas here. What I could also do is I could put flavorings into this as well. I could have put some whiskey into my custard. I could have put some orange zest and orange juice into it as well, just to give another combination of flavors or layers of flavor. Okay, so sprinkle some of these. I add another round of bread, sprinkle again, and then I put my top layer. Okay, it's always important there that you come above the top of the lip, because it will sink down as it cooks, as the bread soaks up the egg custard. Okay, so what I will do now is I'll add a little bit, I'll take this off for a second, just add in a little bit of my egg custard, allow it to soak in, allow the bread to soak it up. I'll add this back, my top layer in, and you want all your bread saturated there in the beautiful flavoured egg custard there, like so. I'm going to allow that to stand there now for a couple of minutes. Okay. Once you have them done then, we have our tray. We're going to place them in the tray here, and I'm going to fill it halfway up with hot water, place it in my preheated oven there, and I'm going to cook them then at 160 for approximately 45 to 50 minutes. And at the end then we'll glaze them with a little bit of sugar, caster sugar, and a blowtorch underneath the salamander. Like I said, if it needs topped up, I would top it up before I go in. Okay, so I'm just about to put my bread and butter pudding now into the oven here, and I'm pouring my water. Health and safety, always add your water when your tray is in the oven. Bread and butter pudding. Okay, so we have our finished product here, which I've just glazed using my gas gun here with some caster sugar on the top of it. I've also allowed it to rest for a couple of minutes there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to demold it. I'm going to plate this up. Like so. And then what I have here then is I have a nice warm anglaise. So I'm just going to squeeze some anglaise over it. There, like that, and possibly a quenelle of cream. So there we have it, our finished bread and butter pudding with fresh custard.